In today's market update, we'll be going over exactly what is happening with Bitcoin, looking at some crucial levels that we need to hold if we are to move on higher. And we'll also be taking a look at how the altcoin market is currently looking, some industry news, and at the end of the video, I'll be sharing with you some of the more recent altcoins that I have been accumulating even on these dips. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Let's jump right into the video. I have to kick us off with this chart once again because we've been tracking all of the attempts that Bitcoin has been putting in to try to get above the 106K level and hold it as support. In yesterday's video, we were just talking about attempt number 6. And unfortunately, that attempt failed, and we have since come back down to the 104K level to try and hold this as support before we go ahead and make our 7th attempt. Now, in my opinion, this will break at some point, but it's just taking a little bit longer than expected. Now, while Bitcoin is just ranging around above $100,000, altcoins are still continuing to suffer before we get that confirmation. I think that's what we really need to see another leg higher for altcoins. It's Bitcoin moving higher and confirming that move above the previous all-time high by first holding 106K as support. But if we zoom out, look at this. I mean, we're about to make the highest monthly close in history for Bitcoin. When you really zoom out and look at the bigger picture, it doesn't look so bad, does it? Look at that, 104.1K at the time of recording this video, and the previous monthly all-time high sits right below $97,000. This is significant. We are still continuing to move higher, and we are still tracking the previous cycles quite accurately. Don't believe me? Look at this chart. What I'm showing you here is the Bitcoin market cycle bottom ROI. Now, this current market cycle is put in pink, and if I remove the first 2 cycles, because of course those are a little bit more outliers as the industry was a lot newer back then, we can see that we are tracking the 2 previous market cycles quite accurately, actually right in line with the 3rd market cycle, which represents 2017. Look, the pink line is right on that orange line. Now, the previous market cycle was much higher at this point, and it was a little bit different because we did see a double top. No one knows if that will necessarily happen this market cycle, and if we compare it a little bit deeper to just the 2017 bull market, look how accurate this is. This takes the Bitcoin price from the bear market low all the way to the bull market top. I can't make this any simpler for you. The pink line is right on top of the orange line, and it looks like we're following this cycle almost to perfection. So if you're really stressing out about where we are in the cycle at the current moment, just take a look at this chart, zoom out, calm down, and look at the bigger picture. We're exactly where we need to be. And on the topic of Bitcoin specifically, we can see that my Bitcoin dominance prediction looks like it's about to play out. Bitcoin dominance is looking like it's ready to make at least a double top and potentially a new all-time high. We've been talking about this scenario on the channel for a few weeks now, and it wouldn't surprise me if we make it there within the next few weeks before we finally get the capitulation of Bitcoin dominance, which is when altcoins outperform. Now, what we hope is the case here is that Bitcoin dominance is collapsing on a Bitcoin uptrend or when Bitcoin is staying steady above the previous all-time highs. Now, the issue with only looking at Bitcoin dominance as your key metric is that you also need to understand that sometimes Bitcoin dominance downtrends coincide with Bitcoin crashing, but altcoins just crashing a little bit less. Altcoins have essentially been bleeding this entire market cycle, so they have already experienced enough pain, in my opinion. What we're really after here for Bitcoin dominance to see sustained altcoin performance is this, as we saw in 2021, and that is around the bull market top where altcoins sustainably outperform Bitcoin for a matter of weeks. Everything is going up 5, 10x. Now, we don't necessarily need quantitative easing for this to happen. If they were to just stop quantitative tightening, that could also likely help the altcoin market out quite a lot. And speaking of alts, we can see that we saw significant inflows for the Ethereum spot ETFs at around $67.8 million. Now, if we go back here, we can see that we saw pretty negligible inflows and some pretty drastic outflows. So this is a positive sign, in my opinion, for what's to come for altcoins. Then if we look at Bitcoin, once again, $500 million in inflows yesterday alone. It's looking promising. There's a lot of Bitcoin accumulation at the moment. And once again, BlackRock over here, the IBIT ETF, accumulated over $320 million worth of Bitcoin, which is over 60% of the total inflows. Make sure to keep your eyes on BlackRock. So looking at a potential trade setup here, the long that I mentioned in my past few videos is still very much valid, with the invalidation below $100,000. I still think that Bitcoin can likely move towards 115K. It's not a matter of if, but rather when. Right now, we're trying to hold 104K as support before we test $106,000 once again. This does require a little bit of patience. It's a huge milestone, and I will remind you once again, the highest monthly close in history is about to happen for Bitcoin. Zoom out, look at the bigger picture. And of course, if you're actively trading, you can take a screenshot here. These are the levels that you're looking for. Speaking of trading, if you're looking to make any of the trades that I discuss on this channel, make sure to click the first link in my description. It will bring you directly to Weeks, which is one of the best exchanges in the crypto industry. With my link, you can get a $20,000 bonus for your trading, and you also get 50% off your trading fees. To sign up, you just need an email and a password. It's as easy as that. Some bullish news, I would say, in terms of altcoins as well, is that Kraken reopened their staking for their US clients. Now, the reason why this is important is because they were previously under a lot of scrutiny from the SEC with all of those lawsuits. But now that we have the Trump presidency and a whole bunch of favorable crypto policies, Kraken decided to relaunch this staking feature, which in my opinion is huge. And continuing on the topic of altcoins, let me talk about one of my favorite ones that I actually discussed on this channel at much higher valuations. And that altcoin is Pengu. If you didn't know by now, Pengu is the native token for the Pudgy Penguins project, which I have a lot of faith in. I've been accumulating all the way up at these highs, and I've also been accumulating at these lows because I really believe in this project. Something that's quite bullish at the moment for Pengu is that 15% of the total supply from the airdrops is still unclaimed, and the claim period ends in 5 days. All unclaimed Pengu will be burnt, which should help stabilize the price a little bit because there's been so much selling pressure. Now, I firmly believe in the founder of this project, so I'm still accumulating at these levels. Make of that information what you will, but I think we will see another big turnaround for Pengu. And looking at the broader altcoin market, this is what a 2025 altcoin season would look like. Here we see January 2017, we exploded to the upside for altcoins. Same thing in January 2021, and now we are just closing out January 2025. So in my opinion, we're about to begin the biggest altcoin liquidity shift in the cycle. Now, of course, monetary policy might have something different to say about this, but if things stay stable and we do end up ending quantitative tightening at the next meeting, this could be very bullish for the entire altcoin market. And another huge announcement in regards to one of my favorite altcoins, Sui. They have finally gone live on Phantom, which is massive for the Sui ecosystem. Now, well before this announcement, we can see that we had a massive dip in the price of Sui. We dropped all the way down to $3.50, but we have since bounced up to back above $4. Now, how does this affect the rest of the ecosystem? You'll remember that one of the tokens that I talked about on the Sui ecosystem that I was very bullish on right around the 3-cent mark was Lofi. Since we spoke about it on the channel, it went from 3 cents all the way up to 22 cents, a huge return, but in the past few days, it crashed all the way back down to 3 cents, and now it is back above the 9-cent mark. This is why altcoins are completely crazy, because one second you can see some massive gains, and the next second, if you didn't take enough profit, you can come crashing right back down. Now, this is personally one of my favorite meme coin holds of the cycle because it takes the #1 spot on the Sui ecosystem, which I'm very bullish on. I would make sure to keep your eyes on this one, especially at these valuations, because I think we could see a reversal in the near future, especially if Sui continues to grow and puts in a new all-time high past the $5.20 mark. And I'm going to close off this video with some interesting thoughts from Quinton here. Couldn't agree more. Crypto went from $0 to $4 trillion while politicians and institutions laughed at us. Now the biggest institutions on the planet are all in. The entire US administration is shifting pro-crypto. And you think the bull market is over? As I've mentioned on this channel, I still think that we have at least one more massive leg up for this bull market before we enter a brutal bear market. Now, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because once we do get those top indicators, we will likely be trying to short the top of the market and make significant profits on the way down. That's the beauty of trading, because you can make as much money in both directions. And let's wrap up the video with a nice summary of January 2025 from the DeFi Edge. So Gary Gensler is finally gone. That was massive news. The US president launched the Trump meme coin, where it went from $0 to $10 billion within 24 hours. His wife launched Millennia and nuked the Trump token. Then, after the inauguration, Trump ordered the creation of a cryptocurrency working group tasked with proposing new digital asset regulations and exploring the creation of a national cryptocurrency stockpile. Then, Trump grants a full pardon to Ross Ulbricht. Ross is now a free man, the former owner of Silk Road. Then we have Hester Pierce, a crypto mom who's heading an SEC task force on crypto. There was a civil war within the Ethereum ecosystem where a bunch of OGs are now anti-Ethereum Foundation. Vitalik enters his wartime arc. Huge announcements from the Jupiter exchange, which includes their own chain and a 50% protocol fee buyback program. Then, more recently, China launched DeepSeek, a ChatGPT competitor, which was developed for supposedly $6 million. This wiped out $593 billion off of NVIDIA's market cap in a single day. We saw the entire markets red on that day. Solana's stablecoin total value locked almost doubled in a month. World Liberty Financial is stacking ETH very aggressively, as we've been talking about in all of our videos, which is interesting because the price of Ethereum has been getting suppressed. Venice airdropped 50% of their supply to their users and AI users on Base. AICC drama, where a bunch of influencers dumped their tokens immediately. Virtuals expanded to Solana, and countless meme coin runners like Vine, Fake Baron, and Jelly Jelly. And actually, most recently today, we also saw a Robinhood meme token go up to a $100 million market cap. I'll remind you, all of this was just in January. We are in the craziest year of crypto in 2025. So when you're chasing those gains, make sure you enjoy the ride. That sums up today's video. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I'll see you in tomorrow's video.